Have you ever spent hours studying for an exam only to get the devastating news that you didn't pass? Well, don't worry, you're not the only one. The reality is, you probably did spend many, many hours studying, but your studying strategy needs to be tweaked. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I've decided to make a video to share some studying techniques that have helped me have a confidence boost in the past. Because believe it or not, your confidence on exam day does have an impact on your performance. Tip number one, mind maps. Mind maps are actually my favorite tool to use when I study. I find it makes it so easy to memorize things and understand them. Basically, it's a diagram that organizes information into a hierarchy, and it's also visual. So as you write it down, the fact that you're also seeing the hierarchy helps you learn. All right, let's look at an example together. Because my channel is focused on finance topics, I'm going to do a mind map about financial ratios, but please keep in mind this can really be used for anything. I've used it on many different types of topics. All right, so let's start. First of all, as you can see to the far left, we have the topic that is being studied, so financial ratios. We then branch it out into different ratios that are applicable. I'm only going to put two for now. Please note there are many, many more. This is actually a huge tree that I have that's been super helpful for me during exams. So, financial ratios, we have liquidity ratios and turnover ratios, which each split into three respective ratios themselves. Now, why is this helpful? Let's pretend we're in an exam, and the question is, in this context, which liquidity ratio would be applicable? You have A, B, C. You can perhaps immediately notice that C is a turnover ratio. So you can immediately write it off that it's a wrong answer instead of having to actually go through the formula. So you're saving time during the exam by having these good reflexes. Tip number two, don't deprive yourself of social activities. The key to everything in life is balance. I've known some people who were to completely disappear when they had an exam, even when it was months away. The reality is that doesn't accomplish anything except just get you even more sick and tired of studying. If you want to be successful, balance is key, and mental health really does matter. If you isolate yourself, it's only going to lead to stress and anxiety, and it won't give you a chance to your brain to decompress. So, social interactions and taking breaks will actually enhance your cognitive function, whereas the lack thereof will inhibit your retention. So, you're really just hurting yourself. And don't forget, your friends and family are really there to support you and help motivate you in these challenging times. Cramming. Don't get me wrong, we've all done it and we've all been successful at it. The reality is, it's a high-risk method, so it depends how important is this exam for you. If it's an exam that you really can't imagine having to redo and that is important, don't be in denial about it. Sit yourself down, make a plan over a considerable amount of time, and don't forget to plan in those nights off. Also, cramming is a short-term memorization method. And because my videos are mainly about finance, I'm going to talk about the CFA. The CFA is three different levels of exam that build on one another. If you cram for one level and by chance you pass, the reality is you wouldn't have a strong foundation for that next level, and you really would have done yourself a disservice by cramming for the previous level. So it is worth it to just take the time, plan it out, and understand thoroughly what's being asked of you. During the exam, time is of essence. I don't care if your exam is a multiple choice on a computer. When you're studying, you really need to write everything down by pen and paper. Even spell out every step one at a time, even the obvious steps. The reason for that is you really want to wire your brain to solve these practice exercises in a procedural way. That way you avoid having to spend time during the exam trying to remember how to solve it. Plus, the reality is it'll probably be impossible for you to master every single topic. So master those that you can. That way, during the exam, you can solve them quickly and spend more time on those topics that you grasp a little bit less. After writing down the exercises step by step and thoroughly understanding them, the key here is repetition. So there's probably going to be a lot of different topics on your exam or a lot of different practice exercises. If you do them only once, even though you did understand them, by the time the exam comes, well, you probably forgot the main points. Take time to redo your exercises. Ideally, you go through everything once, and then before your exam, you take 2 weeks to only focus on practice exercises without necessarily reading the lessons, and only reading the lessons for those exercises that you had completely forgotten. Last but not least, a bonus tip. If you're sitting down in front of your books and you find yourself not focused and reading the same sentence over and over again, do yourself a favor. Get up, put on a 15-minute timer, and do something else. Because if you sit there for hours just staring at your books, well, your brain is going to register it as an hour of studying time, when actually you just stared at a wall for an hour. So get up, move your body, change your mindset, put a timer for 15 minutes, that way it doesn't get out of hand, and then get back to it. And that's it for today. If you enjoyed watching this video, please like and subscribe. It makes a world of a difference. And if you want, you can also hit the bell button. That way you get notified next time I let out a new video. If you're in finance and you have an exam coming up, please know I have a video about the carry trade strategy and the triangular arbitrage method. So you can check those out if you want to know a little bit more about those two topics. Thank you so much and see you next time.